Hey everyone! Today I am working on my Altered Index 2025 challenge put on by Nonstop Paper Crafts, and I'm on week 41, and the prompt for week 41 is insects or wings. So I went through my stash and I've got this dragonfly stamp that I think I'm going to focus on that one today. And then I have a whole bunch of random things. I've got my card base ready, so I'll put it to the side. I've got my watercolor cardstock that I'll use. I have used this Prism Studio Stitched Circles nesting dies, and I cut out one of them that I'm going to feature a dragonfly stamp on. So I'm just going to set those to the side. I think I will probably use this Tim Holtz stamp set for the sentiment. Probably I will use the one that says, "With brave wings she flies." So I'll set that aside. I don't know what I'll use, but I brought out some drywall tape as a maybe. I brought out some gold thread as a maybe, because I am going to use some gold embossing powder and my WOW embossing pad. And then I brought out 3 colors of Distress Oxide inks. I've got Peacock Feathers, Mermaid Lagoon, and Seedless Preserves, and I'll probably use those. And then I have my Distress Mica Spray in Tarnished Brass. So I think to start with, I'm just going to take out this stamp. I don't know if I have ever used this stamp before. I got a whole bunch of these, are they close to my heart? Stamps. Yeah, close to my heart. I got a bunch of those on Marketplace quite some time ago. And it was just a big, huge lot of them, and I've used a fair amount of them, but I honestly don't know if I've ever used this one. So I thought today was a good idea to use it, and I'm just going to stamp a whole bunch of them with my WOW embossing ink and emboss them with gold, but I forgot to bring over a paper to catch the embossing powder. There, we'll use this well-used paper. Okay. And I am going to stamp them in all different directions and off the paper here and there. I'll just do maybe those ones first. Do a few at a time and emboss them and kind of go from there. Okay, and I do have a little bit of extra powder that I will just brush away. And I will go off screen so that you don't hear the noise. All right, let's add some more. And again, I will just brush off some of that powder. I think that was supposed to be one of the wings that didn't quite take all of the ink. Okay, I will be right back. Okay, a tiny bit more. Let's maybe do there. You know what, I'm just going to do that one for now. Almost forgot where I stamped that one. Okay, I'm just thinking of where, see, I've got an empty space here. I can either stamp more, but it won't really, like I didn't really leave a lot of space to have the kind of same spacing. So I might just leave that part blank and have that where my dragonfly is going to pop up. I think I'll do that. I think I'll just leave that for now. So I'm going to clean this up and come back. I just wanted to take a moment to invite you to the Stress Free Card Making Summit online, October 17th to 19th. There are over 20 speakers, and there are a variety of different cards that you'll learn to make. Each presentation will show you different cards you can make using 5 supplies or less. So here are some ideas of some of the cards. And if you're interested in joining in on this fun, please look in the description of this video and you will find a link to get your free ticket for the summit. All right, I think next I will start adding some color. And, ooh, that was more than I planned. I didn't realize that ink pad was that juicy. I'm going to start just with those 2 colors, and I have my little handmade ink smusher, excuse me, that I made after watching, I think it's NB Cards on YouTube. I'm going to add some water. Just kind of clean that off in between and go in with some of the other color here. And I guess I should add some of the purple as well. Hopefully this purple goes nicely with these colors. Okay, I'm going to dry this and then layer up a little bit more of the color. Okay, it's not fully dry, but it's dry enough that I can add some more. I'm just gonna start rubbing this on. Which one do I want more of? I think maybe I'll put, whoops, a little bit more of the Mermaid Lagoon. Kind of fill in the empty spaces. Okay, I'm going to dry this again. I'm going to clean this up. And I'm going to pour a little bit of this out to smush on. This could be really messy. idea how much I'll need or how this will even work. I've never ink smushed with this before, I don't think. Okay, I'll give that a dry. It's got some shimmer and shine to it. There's some spots that are still pretty white. So I think I will add a little more Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm just going to actually come in with a paintbrush. Now this paintbrush, I haven't washed it in a while, and I used it not long ago for some gold ink splatters. So it might have a little bit of Winsor & Newton gold ink in there as well. But there's some spots that are just there's too much white on there for me. That is helping. Okay. I will dry that and see how that goes. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Just debating. I'm wondering about running it through an embossing folder. I don't know if that would be too much. I'm gonna go and look and see what I have. Okay, I had to find the one that was big enough for the whole panel, which most of mine are a little smaller. But I found this old Cuttlebug one that's got flowers on it. I don't know if this is going to enhance it or not. But you know what? Let's try. Okay, let's see what this did. Well, it definitely put flowers in it. I don't know that I care for it as much, but it almost takes away from the dragonflies, but it's kind of supposed to be like a subtle background thing, so it might work. Now, I don't know if I want this white. Also, do I want a gold dragonfly on there? You know what, let's stamp a gold dragonfly on there and see how it goes. I can always change it up if I need to. Try to get it centered as best as I can. And I am going to use my reverse tweezers for embossing this. And my dry paintbrush. Okay, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do the edges of this in gold. And I'm just gonna pour some embossing powder out and just run the edges in here. And I will heat set this and come back. Okay, I think that helps a little. I have no clue which direction that'll go. Actually, you know what? I probably want to do the edges of the actual card in gold embossing powder as well. I think that will just tie it in a little better. So I'm going to spread some of that out. And let's just do one edge at a time. Okay, that definitely looks nicer to me with the edges embossed. Kind of ties that in more. Now, I generally do not make the same card twice, but if I were to recreate this for some reason, I would leave out the embossing, the embossing folder. Not really happy with that. I think it would have looked better without the embossed flowers on there, but oh well, it is what it is. Okay, I think I should stamp the sentiment next. My question is, do I stamp it in gold or do I stamp it in black? I guess I could stamp it in both and see which one I prefer. Okay, I've got a couple scrap pieces of cardstock here. So let's go with the gold first. Oh, that knocked more off than I wanted. Wait, which one is my dry paintbrush? This one. That didn't stamp really nicely. Okay, I need to put the gold away. Okay, my paper that I was using the embossing powder on, it's really quite gummed up with embossing ink. So I had to get another paper. Because for this one, I'm going to use clear embossing powder. You know what, I'm going to redo the gold one, but I'm going to use my VersaFine Clear Nocturne ink to stamp it, because I just find it stamps sentiments really well. And then I can use the gold embossing powder on there. Okay. Still sticking a little bit where I don't want it to. Okay, let me look at these two. Yeah, this one definitely stamps nicer. And I think I'm just gonna grab my scissors. And just snip a little banner end on here. See what that does. Because I might just put it like that. So I've got the gold, or I've got the black. I think I just like the gold. Okay, that is not cut really nicely though. I have to redo this end here slightly. No. These scissors are not doing well. Bring these ones in and try again. Okay, that worked a little better. Okay, I think that is just going to glue right on there. You know what, let's just glue that on right now. Let's go right about there. straight. Which way do I want this guy? Let's look at some of this gold thread and just see what it would look like. Actually, you know what? To properly see, I'm going to tape some down. Just with some trusty old Scotch tape. So I can get like a visual of what this would look like if I wrap some thread around here. It's kind of hard to see, isn't it? It's really thin. But you know what? Let's just keep the gold thread on there. Just because, why not? And I think that I will pop up and say I could pop it up on foam tape, or I've got a few of these smaller circles already die cut. I could just use a couple of them. Oops. Just gives a little bit of extra dimension. Okay, I think I will stick this onto the card base before I pop that up. I will say some of these cards I've made for this Altered Index 2025 challenge, some of them I have loved the outcome, others not as much, and this is one of the ones that I don't love as much. But that's all right. It's still fun to make. And I think I'll pop it right about there. Sure. Let's go right there. And there we are. My card for week 41. Yes, week 41 of the Altered Index 2025 challenge put on by Nonstop Paper Crafts, and the prompt is insects or wings. So anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful, peaceful day.